where police stations and MLA's house was vandalized and set ablaze. The NIA was investigating that case and also filed a charge sheet with that regard. Last year, Congress MLA Tanveer Seth had written to the government demanding the withdrawal of cases against the accused in DJ Hurley and KG Hurley incidents. Now, we're looking at MLC BK Hari Prasad also making similar demands, saying those accused in the DJ Hurley, KG Hurley riots at that point must also be released and out free. 3 people were killed, over 50 people were injured in that violence that panned out in DJ Hurley as well as KJ Hurley. In fact, that riot itself took place due to derogatory social media post by a relative of the then Pulakeshni Nagar Congress MLA Akhanda Srinivas Murthy in August 2020. It's now been nearly 4 years. Cases have been slapped on multiple people for vandalizing the police station as well as an MLA's home that was set ablaze after a social media post led to a situation that panned out of such nature. Those are the visuals that we're bringing for you of 2020. Huge riots that took place, for which BK Hari Prasad, Congress Neta, saying release all those people who had cases booked against them then. Listen in.
ಸರ್ಕಾರ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ, ನಾನಾದರೂ ಸಹ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರದ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮತದಾರನಾಗಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಒತ್ತಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. DG ಹಳ್ಳಿ KG ಹಳ್ಳಿಲಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರಕರಣಗಳು ಅಮಾಯಕರ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೇಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ವಾಪಸ್ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ.
All right, let me quickly cut across to Sagai Raj joining us live for more on that information coming in that Congress leader BK Hari Prasad Sagai has been asking for those who were booked in the DJLE KJLE riots case. The visuals are quite implicating, showing how these rioters vandalized the police station locally there and also set a party MLA's house on fire. BK Hari Prasad saying they must be let free on what grounds?
He claims that there are innocents who have been arrested in this particular case, and he also claims that he is not demanding in the capacity of a Congress leader or an MLC. He is demanding in a capacity as a citizen of Bengaluru, a voter of Bengaluru, so that the innocent people who have been booked in DJLE and KJLE riots case should be released immediately. Remember, the entire case has been registered under UAPA Act. NIA is also investigating this particular case. They have already filed a couple of charge sheets in connection with this particular riot case. And despite all this investigation, despite these kind of allegations against the accused, the leaders are coming forward and demanding the release of innocent people who have been booked in the case. Not only BK Hari Prasad, even last year, Tanveer Seth, MLA, Congress MLA, had written a letter to Karnataka government to withdraw the cases against innocents who have been booked in DJLE and KJLE riot case. And similarly, now it is BK Hari Prasad. Even at that point of time, the other leaders have also requested to withdraw cases in connection with Hubballi riots. Now the government have withdrawn Hubballi riots accused who have been booked in multiple cases. And after that, now BK Hari Prasad is demanding that even people who have involved in DJLE and KJLE cases should be released.
You know, this news has really come as a shocker because the Congress government is already facing huge criticism after letting go of all the cases that were slapped on rioters in Hubli who indulged in riots in 2022. The Hubli rioters are now set free. They already face criticism with that regard, and now we hear BK Hari Prasad calling for more releases of people who have indulged in violence, arson. 3 people died in the DJ Hurley, KJ Hurley riots at that point of time. What's the Congress High Command really doing with this regard? They're going about brazenly dropping cases against these people who ideally should be behind bars. Most of those cases, we believe they've received bail and those people are out. But ideally, these people, for what they did, must be behind bars. And here's the Congress Party senior leader saying that they must be let out.
Absolutely, and in fact, this particular case was infamous violence. In fact, this particular violence, which was been reported in DJLE and KJLE, was international headlines when a couple of police stations were being attacked, vandalized, and they also set a fire on one of the MLAs, Congress MLA's residence. And at that point of time, everybody criticized, including the Congress, JDS, and BJP. Now, after coming to power, now the Congress leaders are demanding that whoever have been booked innocents, especially they claim that innocents who have been wrongly framed in KJLE and DJLE cases, there should be the cases should be withdrawn and released immediately. So this particular demand comes amidst where the criticism from the BJP saying that they are trying to do appeasement politics by withdrawing cases in Hubballi riots, and this more is another request from the Congress leader is adding more fodder to the controversy.
This has really come down as negative publicity for the Congress government in Karnataka. Thanks very much, Sagai Raj, because the reason being that in the 2022 Hubli violence case as well, the Karnataka government very recently released 60 people and quashed all the cases that were registered against them, including AIMIM leaders who were involved in protests in Hubli, and also in some of the violent protests that also panned out in against the hijab controversy, where some of the members of the AIMIM launched protests pushing for hijab for women at educational institutions. This happened in Kalburgi district. While cases against AIMIM leaders and some of those people were dropped, the criticism now that the Congress faces is that some Hindu boys and students who pulled off those protests in a similar fashion, those complaints still remain, that their cases have not been quashed. The Congress government facing an allegation from the BJP as well as largely the Hindu groups on the ground, allegation of bias. Karnataka government dropped cases on pro-hijab protesters, but those who protested against the hijab still have to face those cases. Cabinet decided not to drop those cases against the Hindu college students who protested against the hijab in Davangere district, despite subcommittee's recommendations at that point to withdraw it. We do know that those protests did turn violent. At that point, many of those, the students were taken into custody for indulging in vandalism and violence. But while there are a certain number of cases dropped against the pro-hijab protesters, the anti-hijab protesters still booked. Criminal charges, including attempt to murder, rioting, and other serious offences were withdrawn against some of them, including 138 members, as well as the AIMI member Arif in the Hubli riots case. So, all in all, the BJP criticizing the Siddaramaiah government, accusing it of appeasement politics, that selectively dropping cases against those from the minorities and retaining cases against Hindus. Siddaramaiah has defended this move, stating that both courts and the government are very much in the authority to decide to withdraw cases as per their decision. Let's take a listen what he had to say.
ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವು ಮೊಕದ್ದಮೆಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇದೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಸಬ್ಕಮಿಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹೋಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರವ್ರ ವಿವೇಚನೆಯಿಂದ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅದನ್ನು.
ಅವ್ರೇನು 16 ತಾರೀಕಿನ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. 16 ತಾರೀಕಿಂದ ಹುಬ್ಬಳ್ಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋರಾಟ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.
ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ
ತಂದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಸಬ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಸ್ಡಮ್ ಅದು ತಗೋಬೋದು ವಾಪಸ್ಸು, ಅದು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಭಾಳ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದರ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಸೇವ್ ಐದರ್ ವಿಡ್ರಾ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ವಿಡ್ರಾ. ಅದನ್ನು ಈ ಕೇಸಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದರು. ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಇಲಾಖೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ವೆದರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ರಿವ್ಯೂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನು ಸಮಿತಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಸಮಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸದಸ್ಯರುಗಳು ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿರುವಂಥ ಕೇಸಸ್ಗಳು ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನರನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇದು ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವರು ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ವಿಡ್ರಾನ್.
See, the appeasement politics by the present Congress government headed by Siddaramaiah stooped to such a level in 2022 incident in Hubli, where anti-national elements, police station, they pelted stones, they created all nuisance. When such a serious incident had happened, and when NIA is investigating this case, it was none of the business of Siddaramaiah government to withdraw the cases, only to divert the issues. Since Siddaramaiah is feeling the heat of all the corruption scandals, to divert the issue, Congress government has decided to withdraw the cases.
Totally, we condemn the decision taken by the Congress government with regard to the withdrawal of the cases against the Reuters or the Muslim people were taken law into hand and attacked the police station in Hubli. So withdrawing the case against them is not fair. It is only appeasement. We totally condemn the decision taken by them. Immediately, they should ensure that the investigation will go on and they'll face the law of the land.
All right, as more news coming in from Karnataka, in the latest, Mallikarjun Kharge and his family have decided to return the land that was allotted to them to start a skill development center. There were allegations against Mallikarjun Kharge and his family that that land was taken and acquired illegally and that they had promised to start up a skill development center to empower the youth, but that project had delayed. And a host of other allegations of corruption that were leveled against them, to which now Mallikarjun Kharge's family has decided. They run this trust called Siddhartha Vihar Trust that's owned by Mallikarjun Kharge's son Rahul Kharge. So they've now decided to return that 5-acre land to the civic body. It is a CA site that's located in Bengaluru's Aerospace Park, and that the trust intended to start a skill development center to empower the youth and ensure more employment. That center had not yet started, but now that the controversy has erupted, Rahul Kharge has decided to surrender this land against the backdrop of all these allegations, and also in light of Karnataka Chief Minister facing the Muda case as well, where his family too decided to return plots to the Mysuru Urban Development Authority. Now, the controversy over the 5 acres plot began in 2024, March this year, a few months earlier, when Siddaramaiah government allegedly granted land to Siddhartha Vihar Trust, owned by Mallikarjun Kharge's family, and that the family had promised and committed to start up a skill development center. But now that the allegations have surfaced, they've decided to return this land. BJP claims that Mallikarjun Kharge used his power and his family illegally acquired that 5-acre civic land by misusing their power.
ಈಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಟು ಮೀ ದಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗಲ್ ಅಲಾಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಈಗ ಅರ್ಹರಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು? ಈಗ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ ಬರಲಾರ್ದಂತ ಜೇಶಾಗೆ ನೀವು ICC ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, BCCI ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಪಾಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೋ DRDO ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ತಗೊಂಡಂತ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಹರಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ನೀವು ತೆಗಿರಿ, ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರ ಮಕ್ಕಳೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ತೆಗಿರಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಅವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸಿಕ್ತು? ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಸ್ವಂತ ಮುತ್ತಾತದ ಆಸ್ತಿಗಳಿಂದ ಅವರು ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದಲೇ ತಗೋಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸಿಂಗ್ CA sites or ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್. ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಖರ್ಗೆ ಕುಟುಂಬದವ್ರು ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಲೀಗಲ್ ಇದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಇನ್ನ ಮನುಸ್ಮೃತಿ ಇದು ಇನ್ನ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ.
No, I don't know. I mean, this is not my subject, but I also read it in the newspaper. ऐसे लूट यार, कितने 14 प्लॉट थे, 12 या 14 प्लॉट थे. अब वो 5 एकड़ जमीन भी ले गए, तो इतना खुलेआम हो रहा है. दिस ऑल्सो कुछ शर्म की हद होती है यार, कुछ शर्म कुछ तो होनी चाहिए. 5 एकड़ जमीन ले लिया और 14 प्लॉट ले लिए.
संचालित ट्रस्ट पर आक्षेप लगने के बाद आवंटित भूमि को लौटाने का जो निर्णय लिया है, ये इससे पूर्व कर्नाटक के मुख्यमंत्री श्री सिद्धारामैया जी ने यही किया था. यह स्पष्ट रूप से यह प्रमाणित करता है और यह एक प्रकार से स्वीकारोक्ति है कि सत्ता का दुरुपयोग करके भूमि को हड़पने का कार्य कर्नाटक में कांग्रेस में सर्वोच्च स्तर पर हो रहा था।
All right, now let me cut across to our correspondent joining us live from Bengaluru, Anaga Keshav, who's been very closely tracking the story for us. Anaga, do take it away on exactly what is the malpractice here that the BJP has accused Mallikarjun Kharge's trust of committing? We know that this land was issued to the Kharge family in March 2024. That's barely a few months ago, and they had committed to setting up a skill development center. But in now, few months later, they've run into controversy. Give us more on where was the miss?
Well, Nabila, the BJP has alleged that the rightful way of allotting the land was to call for an auction. But, they are alleging that without even calling for an auction, the 5-acre KIDB land was just like that allotted to Mallikarjun Kharge's family. So isn't this favoritism, isn't this misuse of power is what the BJP is asking. But the Congress has, however, defended this, stating that there is no procedural lapse. There was no need to call for an auction. The government could allot the land based on, the price and the rates, and most importantly, based on first come, first serve is the kind of defense that we heard from the government. But the BJP has said that an auction should have been the rightful way to go about this. Why was a 5-acre land, near Bengaluru's airport, the KIDB land, so freely allotted to Mallikarjun Kharge family's trust is what the BJP is asking. Now, ever since Kharge's family has surrendered the 5-acre plot, the BJP has called this as their personal win, by saying that they feel vindicated. In fact, BJP's Lahar Singh, who is an MP in the Rajya Sabha, said that he felt vindicated that the Kharge's family has surrendered the 5-acre plot. However, Priyank Kharge has stated that there was no illegality in this in the first place. The only reason that they returned the land was to protect their family's interest and to stop the political tarnishing that was going on their family by the BJP. So that's the kind of defense that we are hearing from Priyank Kharge. Also very interesting to note that after Siddaramaia's wife Parvati returned the 14 sites, Mallikarjun Kharge's family also decided to take up similar such move by returning the 5-acre plot. Some actually read it as, this being some sort of a protective shield, some sort of a precaution that was taken by Mallikarjun Kharge's family. But they are saying that
even
the only
before that
reason
controversy
that
could escalate to that proportion, right? Anaga, thank you very much. Appreciate you joining us on that story. All right, we have news coming in, and quite an embarrassing and sad one. 8 years since the killing of Gori Lanes, the journalist. Key men accused in Gori Lankesh's murder were given a rousing welcome and garlanded when they returned home right on bail. A heroic welcome there. All right, we're looking at apologies to our viewers. We're taking you through the Gori Lanes story in just a moment. Apologies there. Well, let me take you through the Gori Lanes story. 8 years since the killing of Gori Lanes, the key men accused in Gori Lankesh's murder were given a rousing welcome on their arrival to their hometown in Vijaypura. Parshuram Wagmore and Manohar Yadav were released along with 6 others on bail on October 9th by a trial court, were released from jail on October 11th. Gori Lankesh's sister has hit out, calling this garlanding of this murder accused here as a wild act. And not just that, Kavita Lankesh, Gori Lankesh's sister, claims that the family is now living in fear since these men who were responsible for Gori Lankesh's murder are out on bail. Now, the fact that they're being garlanded itself shows how they're being hailed as heroes for gunning down an independent journalist, Gori Lanes. And years later, these men have got bail. And here you have some groups, it appears the right-wing Hindu groups, who've come together to give them a rousing welcome.
No, I'm absolutely shocked and appalled actually. And it's wild. It's the whole atmosphere they're creating is out of viciousness, because I think they're not at all acquitted still. They're just out on bail, which they forget. And this is what they should remember first. And if they get acquitted, they'll have to go back. And in the meantime, if they're getting honored, see, this is the time we fear the society we are living in. In UP, Bilkis Bano, people get, the accused get rousing welcome, like you said. Rapists there, murderers there, and they get rousing welcome there. We are from the Sangh Parivar and offshoot of those people. Ignoring all this, if the Sangh Parivar people are honoring them, so you can understand the state of mind they are in.
ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಆರೋಪಿಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವಿನಾಕಾರಣ ಅವರು ಹಿಂದೂ ಸಂಘಟನೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಪವಾದ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರನ್ನು ಬಂಧಿಸಿ ಒತ್ತಾಯಪೂರ್ವಕ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೇಸ್ ಅವರ ಮ್ಯಾಗೆ ಹೇರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನೀವು ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಹಿಂದೂ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರುಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಮತ್ತು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಚ್ಚಿದವ್ರ ಮ್ಯಾಗಿನ ಕೇಸ್ ಹೊಳೆ ತಕ್ಕೋತೀರಿ.
All right, now shifting our focus to Telangana. Tension simmering in Secunderabad, Telangana, after a temple idol was vandalized. According to reports, the idol was desecrated at the Mutyalamma temple in Secunderabad's Monda Market division. Large numbers of locals there protested near the temple, demanding action against those responsible. With many BJP leaders now joining in the agitation, several BJP leaders, including Madhi Lata, were detained also right after the protests gained steam. The temple was allegedly vandalized early Monday morning. In the wee hours, a man walks in, brazenly vandalizes the temple idol and walks out. Soon as he was walking out, the locals there caught him red-handed, thrashed him and handed him over to the police. Union Minister G. Kishan Reddy visited the temple. He is the MP for Secunderabad. He alleges that some people deliberately trying to create communal tensions there. Locals have caught one individual. Right now he's in police custody. That man, his identity is yet to be revealed.
Today morning at around between 4:45 to 5, we received report that this Mutyalamma temple in Market PS limits, some person has entered the temple and removed the idol, vandalized the idol, and this kind of information came. So immediately our police team has responded and we have reached the spot, and that person, locals only caught him. So with the help of locals, this person was apprehended. He received some injuries. So presently he's in a very serious state in the hospital, and we are verifying his details and as to where he has come from. After seeing all the CCTVs, only one person has been identified, the same person who is in our custody. As soon as we get further details, we will inform the media.
రాత్రిపూట దేవాలయాన్ని ధ్వంసం చేయడం ఏదైతున్నదో అది తీవ్రంగా మేము ఖండిస్తా ఉన్నాము. ప్రభుత్వము కఠినంగా వ్యవహరించాల్సినటువంటి అవసరం ఉంది. కఠినంగా దీనిపైన చర్యలు తీసుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది. ఈరోజు ఈ యొక్క దోషినే కాదు, రానున్న రోజుల్లో హిందూ దేవాలయాలన్నింటిని కూడా ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేయాలి. ఎక్కడ కూడా మరి అన్ని రకాల సీసీ కెమెరాలు ఏర్పాటు చేయాలి. అన్ని రకాలుగా మరి రాత్రి పికెట్ ఏర్పాటు చేసి పూర్తి స్థాయిలో మరి ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి దేవాలయాలకు రక్షణ కల్పించకపోతే
2 days before, during Dasara festival, lot of people, Amavaru statues will be there, temple will be there. And recently in Kurmaguda, Secunderabad, back side of the passport office, there is a temple, Mutyalamma temple is there. They are also destroying. Who are doing this, all this nonsense? The government is very seriously taking on this issue. Culprits will get a very serious punishment of this thing.
यहाँ पर बतकम्मा 9 दिन से दुर्गा माता का पूजा चल रहा और साथ ही साथ विजयदशमी दशहरा पे हुआ. बस्ती में आके मंदिर में सवेरे 4 बजे जाके वो माता को वहाँ पर पूरा डैमेज करके, मगर बस्ती वालों को डाउट है एक 40-50 दिन से रेकी चला रहे कोई की, हमारा डाउट है बोल के कंप्लेंट नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स कंप्लेंट दिया बोल के बोल रहे. कुछ भी रहे तो सीरियस ले बोल के मैं पुलिस वालों को रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ.
Let me cut across to Abdul Bashir joining us live from Hyderabad. Abdul Bashir, give us more. We hear the tensions have only escalated and the accused identity has not yet been revealed. Clearly, this could lead to communal riots-like situation. We saw glimpses of that right from the morning with protests gaining steam in Secunderabad.
Well, yes, tensions are prevailing in this area, the Monda Market area of Secunderabad, where, as you can see, huge gathering of the residents. Police are trying to disperse the crowd, but again and again, several of the residents have gathered here demanding action against this particular incident. Let me show you the temple where this particular incident has taken place, a temple which is the Mutyalama temple, where the Mutyalama idol was set up inside in this particular premises, and a person who had arrived in this lane had entered this particular premises by kicking this door here. This gate, as you can see, this gate is where the person whose identity has not been revealed but has been is in the custody undergoing treatment. He kicked this particular door and went inside and vandalized or desecrated the idol of Mutyalama idol at this premises. And then he climbed on the top of this temple and removed the garland which was put on to the idol here. And he also tried to damage this premises, is what the locals have to say. Immediately at around 4 o'clock when the incident took place, the locals have caught hold of him and then handed him over to the police, who the police then in a serious condition when he was received by the police took him to the nearby hospital, that is Gandhi Hospital, where he is undergoing treatment. His identity is yet to be revealed by the police, but the police here right now are trying to handle the situation where a huge protest broke out since morning. Hundreds of the devotees from this particular temple and the local residents are demanding action regarding the incidents that are taking place in Hyderabad. This is the second incident, like we've said previously, in exhibition ground. Idol was vandalized of Durga Mata before Dashera, where the accused had been arrested and he was said to be mentally unstable. But here, this person was caught hold in the evening. He was seen entering inside the premises.
Let's just hope the cops are ready and prepared in case this situation flares up. We're also seeing a right-like situation prevailing in Uttar Pradesh as well. And now in Telangana with a temple idol being desecrated. We're going to continue tracking those developments. Abdul Bashir, thank you for now. We're slipping into a short break. Coming back on the other side, cross-border firing between Israeli forces and Hezbollah intensifies. US powers Israel with third anti-missile system. This is protection and support coming in from the United States to Israel. We're going to elaborate that for you on the other side. Stay with us.
Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
This is the south suburban of Beirut, and India Today is at ground zero. Now, if I could take you 3 pictures, this entire apartment, there was a targeted attack, this strike, and if you see, the entire structure was literally has turned into rubble. More and more there is a fear, particularly the south suburban has become a target area for the Israeli Air Force while they are advancing from the south to the northern part. Here the air strike continues. In Beirut suburban, this is Ashutosh Mishra for India Today.
Grounded in journalism, on the ground reporting, only on India Today TV.
It's a really most unfortunate incident which had occurred in Mumbai yesterday night. Mumbai had not witnessed since number of years the murder of any political leader. So the prime question is why the murder had occurred, who had committed. No doubt 2 suspects were apprehended by the mob on the spot, and I learned that the third assailant ran away from the crowd.
जो हुआ है बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है और अत्यंत निंदनीय है। सरकार को ये पूरी कोशिश करनी चाहिए कि जो भी इसका जिम्मेदार है, जिसने भी ये षड्यंत्र रचा है, उसको सख्त से सख्त सजा दी जाए और मेरी सांत्वनाएं उनके परिवार के साथ हैं।
Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sana, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. Supreme Court grants bail to Abhishek Boinpally in ED case on Delhi excise policy. Maharashtra cabinet makes 5 toll plazas free for light motor vehicles in Mumbai ahead of assembly elections. ED conducts major raids in Ranchi, uncovering irregularities in Jharkhand's water supply projects.
The incident has left everybody, every single Mumbaikar in a state of shock because Baba Siddiqui ji was a known popular leader who was well known and very helpful person. For something like this to happen to him has come as a complete shock to Mumbaikars, and Mumbaikars now fear for their own lives. We are seeing a situation of utter lawlessness in the entire state and in the machinery of the government. The government is busy looting the state because they know there is an election close by, but aren't bothered about the law and order situation.
कल जो हत्या हुई है बाबा सिद्दीकी, जो महाराष्ट्र के पूर्व मंत्री है, बहुत साल विधायक रहे, आज भी उनका बेटा विधायक है, शायद हमारे पार्टी में नहीं हो लेकिन हमारे साथी रहे, अच्छे आदमी थे, तो उनकी हत्या ऐसी तरह से होती है जिनको सिक्योरिटी है, वाई स्टेटस की सिक्योरिटी है, और उनकी हत्या होती है। उसका मतलब क्या है? हत्या के पीछे कारण कुछ भी हो लेकिन हत्या हो गई है तो आपका फेल्योर है, मुख्यमंत्री का फेल्योर है।
आज महाराष्ट्र में जिस तरह से कानून व्यवस्था दम तोड़ चुकी है वो अपने आप में एक गंभीर विषय है। कभी लाइव टीवी पर किसी की हत्या हो रही है, कभी पुलिस थाने में गोलीबारी हो रही है। ये Y+ कैटेगरी इनकी सिक्योरिटी थी, इनके साथ NSG होते थे, और उसके बाद दिन दहाड़े दशहरे के दिन, जिस दिन इतना पुलिस का बंदोबस्त था, हत्यारे आते हैं, हत्या करके चले जाते हैं। ये क्या दिखाता है आपको महाराष्ट्र में? महाराष्ट्र में कानून व्यवस्था ने पूरी तरह से दम तोड़ दिया है।
मुंबई के अंदर भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार है और कानून व्यवस्था आप देख ही रहे हैं, उन्हीं के नेता की हत्या गैंगस्टर्स द्वारा कथित तौर पे की गई है। दिल्ली में भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पास, केंद्र सरकार के पास कानून व्यवस्था है, और दिल्ली में भी बॉम्बे जैसे हालात बनते जा रहे हैं। दिल्ली के अंदर बड़े बड़े गैंग्स सक्रिय हो गए हैं, बिजनेसमैन से प्रोटेक्शन मनी मांगा जा रहा है, तो ये बहुत बुरे हाल हैं। और मुझे लगता है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की, केंद्र सरकार का और राज्य सरकारों का पूरा समय राजनीति करने में जाता है। इनके लिए गवर्नेंस के पास कोई समय नहीं है।
Now, as the West Asia war rages on, United States is sending advanced anti-missile system to Israel. The move comes amid mounting tensions with Iran, and it promises to change the trajectory of this ongoing war in West Asia. Here's our detailed report.
A barrage of missile attacks on Israel continues. Residents of Haifa in northern Israel took cover from rockets incoming on Sunday evening. Sirens and explosions were heard, and interceptions were seen over the Kafar Kara, 22 miles from Haifa on Monday morning. The Israeli military estimates that over a year of conflict, close to 26,000 rockets were fired against Israel, with 13,200 coming from Gaza and 12,400 from Lebanon. Yet only a handful of deaths and injuries from the attacks are reported each month. This is because up to 90% of rockets are intercepted in the sky before reaching their target, thanks to Israel's short-range missile defense system dubbed the Iron Dome. While the Iron Dome came as a satisfying answer to the threat posed by rockets, Ballistic missiles, such as those fired by Iran against Israel on 13th April and then again on 1st October, represent a different challenge. To counter it, the US is sending its high-altitude anti-missile system, THAAD, and a US military crew to Israel.
Why did the sides give the permission for the THAAD to be deployed in Israel? To defend Israel.
THAAD, short for Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, uses a combination of advanced solar radar systems and interceptors. It's the only US missile defense system that can engage and destroy short, medium, and intermediate range ballistic missiles, both inside or outside the atmosphere, during their terminal phase of flight or dive on their target. THAAD interceptors are kinetic. They take out incoming targets by colliding with them, rather than exploding near the incoming warhead. According to a report by the Congressional Research Service, the United States military has 7 THAAD batteries. Each of these consists of 6 truck-mounted launchers with 8 interceptors apiece, a powerful radar system, and a fire control and communications component. One of those prized batteries is now being dispatched to Israel to help bolster its already impressive ability to counter incoming missiles. With Gaurav Sawant in Haifa, Bureau Report, India Today.
And we have India Today's Gaurav Sawant, who's on the ground near Lebanon-Israel border, who brings us this ground report on what has been really done to safeguard people during these air raids. Let's have a look.
Everybody is now lying in a ditch. That's the only way to stay safe here. People are in ditches on the side of the road. All vehicles have stopped because after the air raid siren went up, everybody very calmly, they just stopped their cars on the highway, ignition on, headlights on, because the main thing is your own safety. Little children and their mobile phone, the iron domes are going up. Rockets are coming. We are very close, very close to the Lebanon-Israel border. We were going back from the border, and that's the time that this air raid siren was sounded, and people are very calmly filming the situation. But as you look around, everyone is covering their heads and lying down inside the ditch, because when the rocket falls, it rises, shrapnel rise at a 40-degree angle. So you just have to lie flat next to anything like this, and that's the best way that you can stay safe. But now that there is an all clear, see, people will now start to gradually walk towards their cars, get into their cars, and as quickly as possible walk out of harm's way. Gaurav Sawant at the Israel-Lebanon border for India Today.
All right, let me cut across to Gaurav Sawant, who joins us live for a lot more on that. Gaurav, you've been in Israel for over 10 days now, and we're looking at the situation only escalating with Hezbollah now constantly pounding towards parts of Israel. In the latest drone attack, we hear that Hezbollah has managed to strike in northern Israel at a military post, killing nearly 7 soldiers. Would you be able to confirm? And also at this point, Israel receiving additional military and ammunition support from the United States?
So the situation is very precarious. You're absolutely right. Unfortunately, 4 soldiers were killed when a drone managed to evade the missile defense shield of Israel and hit the Golani Brigade training base. 4 soldiers who were actually in a religious celebration and having a meal, they were killed. There are 3 others who are critically injured. There are 4 who are otherwise injured. But all across northern Israel, there are reports of more than 60 injuries in the past 24 hours in this spate, in this barrage after barrage, volley after volley of Hezbollah fire. And why is this happening? Israel's appreciation is as Israeli forces move forward in southern Lebanon, as they, take in control additional areas, the Hezbollah realizes that instead of all their ammunition and arms falling in the hands of the Israeli Defense Forces, it's better to poof them off and fire them, even if it's indiscriminate fire, into Israeli territory, and hopefully some will hit a target or at least destroy the Iron Dome missiles, each rocket that costs about $50,000. So that strategy is something that Hezbollah is adopting. What we know as of now is Israel is prepared to decimate. It's no longer just degrade, but decimate Hamas in the south, degrade Hezbollah's warfighting capabilities in the north, especially in that buffer belt that it wants to create till the Litani River, and ensure people in the north can get back to their homes. Either have the United Nations, because UNIFIL has also been asked to move back 5 kilometers by Benjamin Netanyahu, saying how can Hezbollah have tunnels barely 100 meters from where the United Nations is holding its bases. That would mean either the UN is not doing its job or the authorities in Lebanon are not doing their job, that Hezbollah is able to make tunnels inside or very close to UN bases, or Israeli soldiers are targeted very close to where the Hezbollah, where the UN is. So that is why UN should not be held hostage. But the fact that you mentioned THAAD is being brought in, and this terminal high altitude area defense shield, this promises to be an absolute game changer, and in a way it helps the missile defense shield and the fighter jets of Israeli Air Force, so that they do not get overwhelmed once Israel strikes Iran, so that there's no counter strike by Iran, or that counter strike by Iran does not cause damage here or much damage here. THAAD system with 100 US soldiers are being deployed on ground, plus Mediterranean fleet. US has more aircraft carriers, more aircraft in their aircraft carriers being deployed to ensure that the threat of Iran can be countered effectively.
Hope you're doing safe, Gaurav. Thank you very much. We will continue tracking those developments. Let me shift our focus here to Elon Musk scripting history. In fact, Elon Musk's SpaceX at this point has scripted history as its 5th Starship test flight achieved a historic booster catch. This remarkable catch marks a pivotal moment in SpaceX's quest to develop a fully reusable and rapidly deployable space vehicle, bringing Musk's dream of conquering Mars closer to reality. Have a look.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
A grand takeoff.
Max Q.
Ship engine startup.
Most engines cut off.
And a spectacular landing. This was SpaceX's enormous rocket Starship's boldest test flight yet.
Heavy booster back at the launch tower.
In its 5th Starship test flight on Sunday, SpaceX returned the rocket's towering first-stage booster back to its Texas launch pad for the first time using giant metal arms.
We are still going wild over here over this.
Achieving another novel engineering feat in the company's push to build a reusable Moon and Mars vehicle.
A day for the engineering history books.
The rocket's first stage Super Heavy booster lifted off at 7:25 a.m. Central Time from SpaceX's Boca Chica, Texas launch facility, sending the Starship's second stage rocket towards space before separating at an altitude of roughly 70 kilometers to begin its return to land.
So incredible to see these views.
With its engines roaring, the 233-foot-tall Super Heavy booster fell into the launch tower's arm, dubbed Mechazilla by Elon Musk. Hooking itself in place by its 4 forward grid fins it used to steer itself through the air.
Mechazilla has caught the booster.
The novel catch landing method, called the chopsticks maneuver, is the latest advance in SpaceX's test-to-failure development campaign for a fully reusable rocket designed to loft more cargo into orbit, ferry humans to the moon for NASA, and eventually reach Mars, the ultimate destination envisioned by CEO Elon Musk. Starship, first unveiled by Musk in 2017, has exploded several times in various stages of testing on past flights, but successfully completed a full flight in June for the first time.
Ship engine
There's
startup.
most engines cut off.
Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, if I could take our viewers through exactly why SpaceX demo is really a game changer here. So, a host of reasons. In fact, this makes rockets now reusable. Huge cost savings for space explorations in the future. Number two, demonstrates safe capture of rocket that was never believed to be possible before. So, the fact that SpaceX mission can do this itself has paved the way. Number three, it solves major tech hurdles for next generation missions to Moon and Mars. This is really setting precedence here with regards to future exploration and ensuring they're in safe hands. And number four, simplifying the to and fro cycle of space travel. And finally, a major boost to commercial space travel possibilities, because this really propels all the space exploration missions in the future now to come out with their innovative, creative ideas, keeping in mind this very mission that would safeguard them. All right, we have some big news. High drama at the Waqf Bill JPC meeting. Opposition MPs, we believe, have walked out of the JPC meet. Congress's Gogoi, Imran Masood, AIADMK's Raja has walked out of that Waqf board meeting. In fact, the Waqf bill that was discussed to be introduced, the JPC meeting, the Joint Parliamentary Meet, where these modalities of this bill were discussed. We hear that the opposition netas walked out of that meet, and that includes Congress's Gogoi and Imran Masood, AIADMK's Raja. We also see on our screens here AIMIM chief who's walked out of that meeting along with a host of other leaders. Sanjay Singh is also visible there of the Aam Aadmi Party. Asauddin Owaisi, Raja, Gogoi, all of the opposition leaders largely who are part of the Waqf Bill JPC meet have decided to storm out. All right, we will continue tracking that story. You could log on to indiatoday.in. You could also download our app for a lot more news and updates. Stay with us. 6 p.m. Prime with Akshita Nandagopal. Siddiqui murder probe ramps up. Man who hired the shooters has now been nabbed. He's been sent to police custody. 3 accused are still on the run. We're going to break it down for you. What could have been the motive for the Lawrence Bishnoi gang to target Baba Siddiqui? Stay tuned.
Bollywood is once again in crosshairs of underworld. Superstar Salman Khan is facing death threats from the notorious Lawrence Bishnoi gang. After the chilling murder of NCP leader Baba Siddiqui, known for his friendship with Salman, Shah Rukh and a host of Bollywood A-listers, the security at Salman's home in Mumbai's Galaxy apartment in Bandra has been beefed up, with a no-visitor diktat issued by